happy Thursday. So today's Thursday, September the 15th. I just wanted to share something. I don't know if anybody has thought about this before, and not saying that nobody hasn't. I'm not the only one that noticed this, but I wanted to share that I noticed a lot of churches do not talk much about marriage, or teach much, or prepare people for marriage, or prepare them to be, show them how to be chosen, show us how to be chosen, and the men how to choose, how to carry ourselves, and all of that. Like, yes, we have the Bible to read and everything. Even that part of that may not be taught often, and we really also need to hear real life experiences, like when people have been married, things that they've experienced in their marriage. Like, we need to hear the raw, rough stuff, and of course the beautiful part of it too. Like, we need to know, how to have successful marriages. And success doesn't always mean that it looks pretty. Like, I was watching Dear Future Wifey podcast. I watch it all the time. Oh my goodness, it blesses me so much. And there's a young couple on there recently, and the woman cheated on her husband, and she immediately told her husband whatever they were going through. She was in a vulnerable state, and she ended up falling for this guy and had sex with him. So that night that she had sex with him, she called her husband and told him. And he decided to stay with her. And the most beautiful part of that, just hearing him say, and that he knew that the woman that he married is not the woman that cheated on him, and he knew that she was somewhere in her, and God had to bring her out. Like, that's faith. Like, the love that he has for God. And the Bible tells us that the husband is to love his wife like Christ loved the church. Now, who's the church? We are. And the stuff that we hide from people, that we can't hide from God, but yet he knows all of our ugliness, all the sin and stuff that we commit, and he still loves us genuinely. That's how our husband is supposed to love us. And there are certain things that we can see in a man when he's single, while he's waiting to choose a wife. And sometimes, we'll hear men and see that, he says that he wants to be married or whatever. But what does his life speak of? How does his life speak of him, or what does it speak? Because there are some men that don't have strong men to hold them accountable, so they are doing a lot of stuff unnecessarily, and it's hindering them from it's just kind of it's hindering. So I'm learning so much from a lot of these podcasts. Like I said, Dear Future Wifey podcast. I watch RC Blake's videos, Godly Dating 101, and then EX Ministries. Pastor G. Craig Lewis always talks about marriage. He always talks about the responsibilities, the roles and responsibilities of the husband, the roles and responsibilities of the wife. And, of course, if there's a strong person at the top, then it trickles down, right? And it's so important for us to live our life according to the word. And of course, it's very difficult, and we don't always do that. But this is why we need strong men and women in our lives to, like, hold us accountable and let us know, like, when we're off. And so one of the things that I've noticed in this walk of me being single and learning, because I don't really have anybody mentoring me, trying to learn what it is that I need, and what God expects of us and how to be chosen, is to know, like, what it is, what a husband looks like, what a wife looks like, and how he's supposed to look and how he operates. And first and foremost, like, we all, like I said, we need accountability. And the roles and responsibilities of men in leadership. Like, my desire is to marry somebody that is involved in ministry, because I want to be in ministry and help people, and not just be going through the motions or anything, but like literally helping people, loving people in and out of whatever they're going through, and love them like Christ loved us, and be a unit and an example for others, because a lot of us didn't have a strong marriage to glean from. We didn't have healthy relationships, or healthy relationships with our parents, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we can't have strong marriages and have what we didn't have. And I want that to be an example, and I want me and my husband to be that example. So anyway, I say all of that to say that because I desire my husband, I have a desire for my husband to be, not necessarily that he has to be in a leadership role, though. If I did say that, it doesn't have to be leadership role, but that he's involved in actively helping others in the church from with a genuine heart, not because he's trying to get something out of it, or he wants his name to be known or anything like that, but because he has a genuine concern for people, God's people, and he really wants to see them grow spiritually. So when I think of that, I think about, because that's what I desire, I think about what and want to know what the roles and responsibilities of a man in leadership, and it shows a husband of one wife. And I've noticed in a lot of churches there are men that have been in certain roles and have been holding certain responsibilities for quite some time, but are not married. Now, I'm not knocking anybody that got a divorce. I'm not judging anybody when it comes to that, because I don't know people's situations. But the Bible says that that he should be a husband of one wife, and he should be able to basically take care of his own home, because how can he take care of the church if he doesn't even have any say-so in his own home? So that has to be a strong man. And then, like I said, a man, a husband's responsibility is to love his wife like Christ loved the church. And we are the weaker vessel. The Bible talks about that. He has to be a man that is able to deal with the emotions of a woman. I've had friends that have said, like, she's too emotional and she's this and that. Well, God made us that way, and only a man that loves God, fears God, and knows how he created us, and that, we are the weaker vessel, will understand and ask God to help him to deal with us, because we do have difficult moments, and we're not like, we express how we feel, and sometimes it's way too expressive. So for me, I know I need a man that's strong but sensitive enough to know how to deal with me in my difficult moments. And that has to be a man that loves God, because at the end of the day, if I'm having a real difficult moment, I might just need somebody to be, okay, you tripping, and just hug me and hold me real tight and tell me that he loves me and God's got this, and wash me with the water of the word. Because otherwise, if it's anything other than that, then it's not gonna be healthy. So we are the weaker vessel, and a man that knows the word and knows how to operate in the word will know exactly how to navigate in marriage, and with strong men and healthy men, other men that are being surrounded by other men that are married, can help each other through that. That's why it's so important to share experiences, marriage, the ugly stuff and the great stuff, so to help others, just like we tell our testimony to help others overcome. Same in marriage. But for some reason, people are hush hush and so secretive, like they don't want people to know. Yes, some things should stay in the home, but the testimonies that I'm hearing on Dear Future Wifey podcasts and all these other, whoever else I'm listening to, when they share their experiences, the real raw, rough stuff, we need to hear that, because it exists, because it helps us through the trials and tribulations and how to navigate. We need more ministries like EX Ministries, G. Craig Lewis. Pastor G. Craig Lewis is a very strong, he's been married to his wife for 30 years, and you know what's at the head trickles down. And that ministry has a lot of families, a lot of marriages, strong men. A lot of ministries have a whole lot of women. This ministry has a lot of families and strong men and marriages. That is the examples that are set before us in the Bible. We should be reproducing that. But the only way to reproduce it is to talk about it. Talk about marriage. Encourage it often. Help people to come together. Not forcing people, but helping people to understand how to be chosen, and that nobody's perfect. People go through life and change. Two people coming together with different mindsets, backgrounds, all of this stuff. But yet when we love God and we learn to love each other, pray for one another, and be patient with one another, and even just communicate when there's a rift, like, that's so important. But a lot of people just much rather, it's easier for them to not commit and deal with this person when they feel like it, and deal with that person when they feel like it. And there's a lot of that going on, and unfortunately it's going on in the church. Like, there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of men in leadership positions, and some of them use those positions and titles to draw women. And unfortunately those men, I've dealt with, I've known them to become womanizers. And unfortunately those womanizers go after women that are silly women laden with sin. I was that. I hate seeing myself like that in the word when it's something negative and bad. But at the end of the day, God is so good. The fact that I know this and I ask him to help me, that's why I desire a man that looks to God to help him deal with his heart matters, deal with the issues of his heart, his past, his concerns, and those things that he may not even want to talk about. Lord God, help that man, whoever he is. We just need more people that we can trust and that will help mentor us, help guide us into healthy relationships, healthy marriages, and to be successful as Christians, men and women of God. Not just Christians, but people that fear the Lord and really truly want to live this thing. Because at the end of the day, eternity could be one of two places. I'm not trying to go to what my sister says, the smoke zone, Sister Ta. She said, I'm not going to the smoke zone. I ain't trying to go there either. But this is why I need a man that loves God and that will help me, like, hey, gently let me know, like, because I've been on my own since I was 17. So there's some things that have to be broken for me that I know God is working on me. I'm always going to be a work in progress, but I'm willing to let him do that. I'm willing to acknowledge my issues and flaws and things that I struggle with. And only relationships that are successful are those where people can admit to their flaws and things that they're afraid of, things that concern them, things that they've gone through. But of course it takes a person that they can trust. So anyway, I'm rambling at this point. The main thing is, I just hope to see more churches talk more about marriage. Not just talk about it, but teach people how to have a successful marriage. Not create and arrange marriages, but maybe introduce people and just mentor them and show them how to maintain a healthy marriage. Hold them accountable, so that they learn how to protect their marriage and not allow outsiders or temptation to come in, because temptation is always going to be a thing. But the reality of what people have to go through in marriage. So that's something that I'm hoping that me and my husband can come together and help others when we get together, to know, like, this thing, it's possible. We can do this thing and live this thing and help others to be successful. So I know the Lord, he's gonna hopefully just make it happen. I trust him. Faith is everything.